I'm going to let Phil take over and talk about the starting cards for a second while I tweet out that we're about to start streaming.
Sure. All right. So we got Brian Mischke with Throne Room, and he's got the standard Insurrection Aim High, Like My Father Before Me, and Virtualized Walkling. And he's starting the Yavin Form Misasi Throne Room, so he will be going first, contrary to the laws of nature of Star Wars CCG.
This is the third match we have streamed today, and the third where Lightside is going first.
Third match we streamed today? Did you stream Constellation one?
Sorry, this third game.
Oh, there we go. That's better.
Yeah.
Let's say both played Throne Room?
They both played Throne Room, yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. I wanted to talk. I came off Throne Room, and I would have been ready for TTO. But I was like, no, I'm not going to play Throne Room again. Should have. Because I didn't want to play Throne Room, but I'm like, what do I come off Throne Room onto? Throne Room's the best.
Well, you played Old Allies, right?
I did settle on Old Allies. And tragically, my allies were too old. Yeah. And by that I just mean I made dumb mistakes. And didn't know what my cards did. Which is not a recommended way to play games.
True.
So he's got 10 piles, and the way the count there looks like he ended up at 54, which is what he wants to see, so he's not missing a card. In case you don't realize that's what people are doing. At the same time they're shuffling their deck, they're also counting it to make sure nothing's missing. So Reid will start putting his orange sleeve TTO cards out any moment. Jan wants to know if anybody knows if there's a result for the Constellation semis yet.
They were still playing last I saw. It was close.
Kafer
Lenny looked to be... Yeah, Bill Kafer's in the final, and then Lenny looked to be ahead of Chris in Game 2, but Chris won Game 1 by 15.
Shuffling again. All right, so Reid's got Endor operations for Endor, the bunkered landing platform, and then operational is planned to get combat response virtual, Death Star 2, and Moff Jerjerrod.
Is this the first game?
Yeah, it's about to start.
Yes. I mean, I can narrate Reid's pile shuffling if you want, but it's pretty self-explanatory. He has a nice technique, though. I like the way he grabs two cards in the other hand and then just drops on the stack.
Oh, he's good. He's good at that.
Yeah. Looks really nice on camera. All right, so I know a fair bit of Reid's deck, having just played it. It's fairly similar to the one that Jolson and I ran at Worlds on day 3. There's the handshake. They're good to begin. So Reid doesn't have a ton of characters. I mean, he probably is EP Mull and pilots and undercover spies. So he's going to be all about trying to set up control in space. Kashyyyk was his system.
We saw Throne Room versus Endor Ops in the first match between Brian and Justin, but Justin was playing... Brian's Endor Ops that Brian plays a very different build, and he plays the 3 effect start, which allows him to start Endor Shield against Throne Room. By playing TTO, Reid not afforded the same opportunity, so Brian's going to get a turn to activated Endor.
At least one turn.
Correct, at least one turn.
Yeah. Reid got Endor Shield in his opening hand against me, so maybe he'll activate it this game. You never can tell. All right, now, Casey, you mentioned earlier that it's Brian's Throne Room is tech for TTO. Now, what does that mean beyond playing the Falcon?
I don't know, but that's what his teammates told me.
Fair enough.
They had put Justin Desai on TTO.
Interesting. All right, now let's see if there's more activation behind this. Yes, well, there's a docking bay at least.
Reid Smith is one of the most famous names in Star Wars CCG in the last 15 years, but Brian Mischke, if you're not familiar, he's a young player from Minnesota, went to Rosemount Middle School, where Mark Walseth introduced him to the game along with a number of others, and The consensus seems to be that he's the best Minnesota player playing at the moment. He's certainly having great success here.
Similar to Jake Nelson, who unfortunately, I guess had some
Jake
auto shenanigans or
Jake
something.
Nelson's not playing at the moment. He's stuck at home.
Yeah, he was going to be here, but alas.
With some
Okay, so this is interesting. So, because he goes Luke turn 1, so he's trying to set up the pressure, but the problem is, since he didn't get any Twix pullers, next turn, assuming Reid gets Endor Shield, Brian's only going to activate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if he has no Twix pullers, and he spends 3 to drain 2, he only has 2 extra cards to draw, hoping to get another Twix or whatever else he's looking for.
This is a very different start from in the semifinals, and Phil, you were obviously playing at the time, so you didn't see it, but Brian ended up with the Boss Nass Chamber, the Jedi Council Chamber, and 3PO on table, all on turn 0.
Yeah, that is an ideal start for Throne Room in basically every game. But yeah, it's really interesting he goes to the Luke there. Now, maybe that means he just didn't activate anything he wanted and figured there was nothing better to do, but still, I'll be pretty surprised, actually, if he pays to drain, because even with putting 1 card down, he still can look at most 3 new cards.
Yep. Early pressure versus TTO is important for a deck like Throne Room, but you still need to get the activation out, and there is Endor Shield from Reid. That's going to make it even harder.
And, I mean, he's activating so little that he can put the Moth in any ship if he wants. I mean, he can just go to the bunker if he wants, because, I mean, what's he going to do? Have Corrin?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he can't have Corrin and backup to that site. So, Jared Drew's going to be pretty safe there for a turn if Reid wants to.
Mark, yeah, I'm assuming that Brian did check to see what was in his force pile when he pulled the docking bay.
He deployed Luke first. He deployed Luke, and then he pulled the docking bay.
Really?
Yeah.
That's very surprising. That's a misplay.
I mean, it may have, in hindsight, it may not have been a misplay. He may have seen nothing in there anyway, but still.
That's a misplay. You always want to know what's there first.
Yeah, I will be very, like I said.
There's no reason not to take the information, even if you know you're deploying Luke. You want to know what's in your force pile before you make that decision. There's no downside to looking first.
I concur with the honorable delegate from D.C., New York. Where are you living these days?
I'm in New York these days.
New York. I concur with the honorable delegate from New York.
I was in D.C. before that, so you're not wrong.
No, I'm just let's see. Last time we hung out was
last time we hung
8
out.
years ago.
Last time we hung out, I was living in D.C.
like
at the time.
8-year-old
Yep.
information. You know, that was back that was before I was married. So yeah, it's been a while. So last night we decided I do need to come sometime to hit up to New York Jewish deli with you to get a nice, great sandwich.
Yeah.
for
So
the
Phil and I
extra
were
bread.
having this discussion last night at dinner about the club sandwich and the third slice of bread, and I was saying how in your typical New York deli, you know, the third slice of bread is just more meat in the sandwich, and that is advantageous because you get more meat, and you don't need that third slice of bread to hold the sandwich together. You know, you can use your hands; they're amazing instruments. The toothpick does some work. And you really just want more meat in that sandwich. You don't want to get into the middle and just find another piece of bread. That's kind of wasteful. So I'm not a big fan of the club sandwich for those reasons.
I like your logic on that. I have no disagreements. Though I think we need to open a restaurant with business cards and say the toothpick does some work. Like that's trademark.
The toothpick
right
does
there.
a lot of work. It holds your sandwich together and then it cleans your teeth. It's a multi-use tool.
It's practically the force of the sandwich.
It is.
I assume they're probably going to start complaining pretty soon that we're not talking enough about what the players are doing because Reid activated and then drew cards. So, yeah, let's see what Brian does here. Because, yeah, I mean, if he spends 3, so Reid drew some cards. If he spends 3 to drain 2, Reid's clearly fine with that.
Oh, 100%.
Like, that's if I'm the TTO player right here, I want him paying 3 to drain 2 because he's not drawing.
Some people like the olive. The olive doesn't really do anything for me. It looks nice.
I don't like olives.
I do like olives. I don't eat the olive off the toothpick. It is nice decoration.
Okay, so he did it. So he paid to drain.
I don't know about this. We're in agreement that neither one of us likes this line, right?
It's an interesting strategy. Let's see if it pays off for it.
All right. It's a bold move, Cotton.
Okay, yeah. So the short range
and the infiltrator.
Yeah.
And that's fine if you're Reid. You're more than willing to do this right now, eat a little bit of early damage, and realize that if things keep up like this, you're going to be out so far ahead. Brian gets out the home one docking bay, and now he's got to look and see if he's got See if he's got anything in his force pile that he can draw for that'll let him get some more activation.
Yeah. But even then, I mean, he's only got 50-50 information on that. Did he put a card down with Luke? I didn't see that. I don't think he did.
I did not see him do that.
So I think he's only got 2 new cards in his force pile at this point. So even if he did activate a Twix for Puller, that's 60% odds. Then he's used pile already. I mean, I suppose if he had Ray in hand, he could put a card down with Luke, deploy Ray, and then use pile search. Like, that could be effective. But still, I mean, like your hand's getting smaller, your activation base isn't great. Now, you said he teched for TTO, so I'm thinking he tries to win the game. But it's also possible that his thought is more, I just want to chop diff right now and just try and keep it as small as possible.
Well, what's the next matchup? It's Map against Hitco?
Yeah.
It seems like a good matchup for Brian.
Yeah, Reid didn't look overly excited when he heard he was playing Map.
I've never really seen Reid look overly excited.
Fair point.
Oh, he's playing, right. It was Justin playing Map. Brian's playing E-Ups. Sorry about that.
Casey, let me astray.
Yeah.
So E-Ops Hitco, that seems... I honestly don't know. I don't know what his E-Ops looks like. It's probably advantage. E-Ops? Maybe? It's kind of hard to say.
Well, it's similar to the Throne Room matchup, but it's better for the Hitco player. Because in the Throne Room matchup, you'll have Brian starting the Emperor. And that's not the case in the Hitco matchup.
That's true. But the biggest problem for Endor Ops against Throne Room is that you self-choke pretty hard. And if the Throne Room player gets their activation, then you can be kind of in trouble. Especially if the docking
Hitco more or less plays the same activation as Throne Room, it just doesn't go first.
It's more likely to get more icons. I mean, it starts off giving an icon, for
right,
sure.
It gives one icon.
Yeah, and if they get Prophecy of the Force out, there will be more icons.
This is the finals.
All right, so Reid's deployed Kashyyyk. We've got the
Vader
shuttle
and his
naturally
shuttle,
with
yeah.
the Moth, and he's got the
Ozzel.
Death Star and Sector.
That's Vader, Jerjerrod, and Ozzel on the shuttle.
Yeah, that's
Right.
got to be.
And one Death Star, 2 Sector out.
Yeah. I mean, Reid, one of the things that come to mind with Reid's playstyle is just disciplined. So, like, he won't say, well, he probably doesn't have profundity and stuff, so I'll just, go Moth and Vader. Like, he's going to put Ozzel there anyway just to make sure that he's got the extra forfeit fodder, even though he doesn't even really need him at this point.
Brian's got 2 ships.
likely.
He's got Profundity and Falcon, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to play the Falcon. I mean, you say Throne Room Tech for TTO, I just assume that means it plays the Falcon.
Right, you need to try to go and blow up the Death Star.
Yeah, typically, unless you get a real early blowout, like Philo or like everything going well, like TTO is going to mitigate your damage, and unless you blow up the Death Star, there's no way you're going to win.
Yeah. Reid is trying to build the Death Star. He had the Death Star 2 on turn 1, and now the Sector.
Yeah, and so Reid is playing the Scythe gun.
So that phase gun. Okay.
Yeah, so that may also come into play because that ship can make an additional move and or fire the gun. So if he gets that down first, then let's see, Brian will need to, even getting to the second sector, his maneuver would be equal to 6. Reid would shoot at +2. So a Wisa would mean that Reid would need a 6. Tracking us would actually be, if he had both of those, then that could be really strong. But still, I mean, Reid's playing plenty of 6s.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a bit of a race. But, I mean, getting the Falcon down is expensive. And the other thing is who's the pilot. Because Luke is actually the ideal pilot. I mean, they can only set for someone with a 7.
Probably want Anakin, right?
If they're tracking it. Yeah, so he might be going for Anakin. But you still got to find the Falcon. You got to find Anakin. And unless you have Fly Casual, it has to go
Looks
to
like
Endor.
Falcon in his hand.
Yeah, I see the
If
Falcon.
that's his hand and not his dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. He also finally got some activation going, got the Jedi Council chamber out.
So the Falcon, the bit shuffle and Destiny. So that's another good thing. Is looking out. Is you really don't want your Falcon barriered.
Yeah, you don't want it stuck at Endor. That's really bad. He doesn't have the force to do it all this turn, though, especially because the ship's going to deploy
Yeah.
+1 to Endor.
And that's if he has a pilot.
Right.
Yeah. Now, the other interesting thing about this match is if he actually... the other thing is you can't start too early. Because if he deploys the Falcon and moves in before the Death Star 2 is complete...
Reid doesn't have to finish building it.
Yeah, Reid will actually just stop building it. His space is better, so he's not going to be worried about being drained at the Death Star. And he can just go to both his systems and mitigate the ground damage far more effectively than Throne Room can mitigate the space damage.
Absolutely. And, John, that's a good point that if he deploys Corrin on the Falcon, he can deploy right to the
That's
Death
right.
Star.
Yeah, Corrin, if he has Corrin, he can do that, or fly casual. The biggest problem is it's expensive. I mean, Falcon for 3, Corrin for 4, Anakin 5, that's 12.
How do you feel about just Anakin on the Falcon and then using Corrin to go and try to suspend Endor Shield? Get some more activation. He's got the Boss Nest Chamber now, though. Also.
I mean, it costs 4 to get you back 2.
So it makes it up in 2 turns.
Yeah, I mean, that's a long-term investment in a game where you can't afford a lot of long-term investments.
Okay.
So, and the other thing is the Falcon's only maneuver 6 equals 6 if it's got... I guess if it has Anakin, then it'd be back to 6 anyway, naturally.
Oh, maybe.
But if he plays the effect, we shall double our efforts, it's maneuver -5.
Right.
So you really want to have Chewie or Rey piloting it.
Mm-hmm. And Bastion, I think Bastion's right. It's Rogue One, not Profundity, is the second ship.
Okay, so that could help. That could make a difference.
I knew it was a ship from that movie.
Yeah, I just got the sweet, actually, Profundity foil for being in the top 4. You want to see it?
I saw
Did you
it,
look
but we should show it to the... I guess we can't.
Yeah. It was like, if we're on webcam now, if you told me we weren't, then, I mean, that's going to be pretty bad. Like,
No, there's no webcam. We can't show it to them.
it's like scratching my ear. And
Phil got a really cool Profundity foil.
I did.
And there's also a really cool Starkiller base foil floating around.
Legit. No, I will not trade them or sell them. Sorry.
Yeah, you guys all wish you had them. They're pretty sweet. And we can't show them to you either. Maybe between games we'll put them on screen.
I can just walk in there right now and just hold it up to the camera.
I think they're a little busy in there right now, but maybe in between games.
They would look at me funny.
Yeah.
Still be kind of funny. Say I was there on official PC business for the stream. Bill Kafer is walking up. He backed me up.
Bill has been waiting for a long time on the end of the Lenny and Chris match. Is it over?
Yeah, I think Chris is moving on.
Chris Westergaard and Bill Kafer.
So Reid went ahead and put out the second sector. Didn't deploy any other ships.
He's just going to draw some cards, yeah. The other hard thing about playing Throne Room or any deck that likes to draw up a bunch of cards and then react to you against Reid is that Reid's a Monarch player.
Everybody should be a Monarch player.
Yeah.
Everybody should be a Monarch player. Bill's also a Monarch player, and I was playing Grimtash this week.
I had both of them as my 61st cards for today. I elected not to play them because I played them both World's Day 3, and I figured I would get credit. So I didn't have to do it this time. But next time,
I didn't play it.
Gotta keep people honest.
Destiny 2.
All right, we see a free shield from Reid. There is no try.
Yes, John Anderson. Corrin and Anakin would make it maneuver 8, but if Reid plays we should double our efforts, it's maneuver -5. The equal 6 gets around that, but otherwise, no.
Bill's gone, Jan. He didn't see that.
We'll make sure to tell him when he comes back, though.
We will.
What's up, Jan?
I had maybe my favorite Chris Westergaard moment last night. Phil was there for this one.
Oh, that was fantastic.
We can't talk about it on stream, but take our words on it.
We'll just say Chris Westergaard blew out Brian Fred, and it was everything you can imagine that being. All right, so now this is interesting too. So, because it looks to me like, does Brian have the Boss Nat Chambers in hand and didn't play it?
He definitely has it in hand.
I was like, did he just finish the turn and not play it?
He might
Am I
have
making it up. No,
No,
okay, he is
there he
playing
goes.
it. All right,
All right.
So he's not done. Good. Because that's one other thing. I don't know how much it actually was played, but Expand the Empire is kind of a huge card right now for the light side to play around.
I was expecting Brian to be playing it in his dark deck, and we didn't see it against against Justin.
Yeah, I would like auto play that because Justin never plays Alter. And
Lightside Altar
always
right now.
good.
We said it during the last game. Lightside Altar is so good.
Yeah, thing is, though, if Expand the Empire is going to win you the game, then you're playing Oppressive Enforcement, and I mean, it's going to be back out in 2 turns.
Yeah. I've said I played Throne Room yesterday with Docking Bays and with the Battle Planes, and I think I'm switching my build to I Must Be Allowed to Speak, and just using the farm as my battleground, not playing Docking Bays, not playing Battle Planes.
Yeah, so that's the one. That's how I was playing it yesterday. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that it's less consistent than the Docking Bay version. I don't think it's inconsistent. It gives you some interesting options. It does sometimes allow the dark side player to come to you before you really want them to, but the use pile searches are so huge to help mitigate that. The other card it gives you access to is Underworld Contacts, which is amazing against Map, for instance, with Strategic Reserves.
None of
or
us like that
Image
card.
of the Dark Lord. Yeah, I know. It's awesome. I played it yesterday on stream.
But what it does lose you, though, is the Insurrection Protection against Map and Ellis. So I think I would probably trade my Wisa for, as we see the last sector here, trade my Wisa for quite a Mercenary.
Yeah, quite a Mercenary is fantastic, and you have use pile pulls to pull it. Yeah, and quite a Mercenary against a stack of troopers can just be, that's the handshake right there.
Hey, that happened, and Tom Kelly and I were talking about it during the last match doing commentary, but that happened in our game yesterday. See, they're tracking us, and I think it was a Wisa.
Is that off the top, or was that from hand?
I couldn't tell.
Yeah, their tracking us is really good in this match. So I wouldn't think he would lose it just because.
All right, so there's
That
TTO.
thing's operational.
We are good to go here.
All right, so at this point, Reid will start doing more damage, and Brian is on the clock to get the Falcon set up so that he can put Reid on the clock for doing damage before he blows it up.
Brian's gonna read TTO. It's not because he doesn't know what it does, but it's always good to just read the card when there's such an important card on the table, even if you've seen it 100 times before.
Like your objective, knowing the backside of your objective does, I highly recommend that. Like, not that I'm speaking from experience from like an hour and a half ago, but I'm just saying if you're playing old allies, your Falcon is actually defense value 8 when it has solo on it, not 6. Just thought you might want to know that. It's a pro tip.
I bet you Reid knew that.
Actually, he forgot it too because there's no way that he's going to he's going to try and shoot it down, knowing that all I have to do is enforce my cards, and it doesn't work.
Right.
So, no, we both realized after I'd activated Force, which is a little late to remember that you couldn't be shot in the face.
Okay.
That's what happens when I think both of us were up until like 4 yesterday. So, I'm just on West Coast time.
Yeah, no, when I go to the West Coast, I stay on East Coast time. I'm up super early. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I've been going to sleep at between midnight and 1, which has been my normal for the last few weeks, but that Pacific Standard
It's
Time.
4 a.m. here, yeah.
Yeah. So we know that Brian has the Falcon in hand. We know he's been able to draw some cards. We know that Reid's got that thing's operational on table, and he's at Kashyyyk, and I'm sure the Death Star is also at Kashyyyk. So starting next turn, that's interesting. Did Reid just draw that last force? And maybe he dark times to add, but to activate. That's interesting because that is huge because that says I have no barrier. So if Brian's looking for an opening, this is it. This right here.
Well, Brian's got the Canceller anyway.
True, but I mean TTO plays sense sometimes.
That's true.
So
That's true.
I mean, you're not going, they have burying in sense, I'm not going to do this. You have to try it if he's got it. But I'm just like, now he knows he doesn't even have to burn that, which means he also has a reserve deck shuffle to stop
the guns.
The guns tracking.
Yep, sure.
So, that's big.
All right, we're going to bring up that
All
thing's
right.
operational for you.
There we go. So, Brian.
Yeah, and like I said, it blocks a few sites, but I don't think anything critical.
I mean, we just removed 3PO in the throne room from the game.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. Endor Ops, nobody also cares that card is on the table. All right, so Reid will start the top decking because it's far harder. I mean, your 3PO is kind of annoying, but he might even have no escape in hand. So, who's to say? But I mean, all the essential cards Reid needs are on the table. So at this point, top decking is not so dangerous.
Oh, Brian's gonna draw. It looks like.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what he has to do. I mean, he's probably looking for a spy pilot. Or for Rogue One. But there's at this point maybe he's looking for Anakin, honestly.
Maybe. I mean,
Because-
he's drawn a lot of cards. I'm surprised if he doesn't have anything, but maybe that's the case.
Because to blow up the Death Star, you have the ability of the pilot plus the number of ships at the reactor core.
I'm gonna go peek his hand.
Good call. And so, if it's Corn, for instance, that's a 4 plus 1 is 5. You have to beat an 8, but if they play We Should Live Our Efforts, that adds 2 to the number they have to beat, so then they have to beat a 10. So they're talking about beating a 6, and there's usually 1 or 2 dark times, which make that like a 7. So it's much easier to do if you have Luke or Anakin. Yeah, and Reid definitely is a Monarch and Grimtash player. So if Brian's just drawing over 12, I'd be surprised if Brian draws here. On the other hand, if he goes, I'm losing this game unless I draw these cards, then you go ahead and draw the cards because, I mean, what are they going to do? Monarch you and have you lose the game you're going to lose anyways? Casey returns. Is he over 12?
He's way over 12.
Yeah.
It looks like he's got Padme, Obi, Hera, Lando, Leia, Chewie. He's got just about every character except Corrin or Anakin.
Fascinating.
And he does not have Rogue One. Rey as well in there.
Now, if he has any way to cancel Imperial Command, I mean, you could. You
I'm
could just
a
decide,
little surprised he
for
didn't go
it.
down with Rey and try to use the use pile search to get the other card he needed.
I mean, he's got to be wary of putting too many cards on the table, and Rey makes the Falcon move equals 6, so you want her on the Falcon.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, but she has to be in the Falcon, is the thing. Like, he has to put the Falcon on table.
No. Play Rey with the Falcon, and then use your use pile search to get your other pilot.
Yeah,
You're gonna find
yeah.
at that point, because you've deployed to Endor, presumably Anakin, and hope he's in your use pile after you've used 7 Force.
Yeah, but if he's not, I mean, what do you do then? Just move twice to the first sector with Rey? Because once you're in the Death Star, you can't deploy any more pilot characters. So
you would look at your deck with Insurrection.
All right, that's Tarkin. Yeah, so Reid just plays Tarkin there, just buffing the shuttle up more. I mean, now he's at 2 Destiny. He's obviously threatening and probably has command. And the redraw there is actually pretty big because, I mean, now he's got 4 Imperials, so the odds are pretty good. If you fight there,
he's on the site, so it takes away the drain.
Yep.
Reid's way ahead at this point. You figure he has to have barrier plus sense.
I don't think Reid's playing barrier.
At all?
No.
Okay.
At least he implied it from a comment I asked him at one point. So, and that was after the game, so he had no reason to be duplicitous.
Right.
But we know Brian has the cancel anyway, so I know it's not gonna. Yeah, now Brian, let's see. I mean, he has a big hand, so he's probably down to 25 or so life force, I'd guess. He's activating 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's not ideal. So he's got about 15 force to do something with. Now, do you know, is Brian playing Philo?
He may be.
Because that's one of the things, I mean, again, just putting Luke down there right away is if you can use Philo to buff that drain, you can actually use Luke as the pilot. Mm-hmm. And Luke's good for a couple reasons. One, he's really hard to set for stun, and the other, he's really good at blowing the thing up because he adds 6 to the total.
Wouldn't you need a turn with... If you want to move Luke up into the ship, wouldn't you need a turn with the ship parked at Endor?
Yeah, once he puts Luke on table, it's no longer a good play. It's only you actually don't play Luke.
I'm sorry, not at Endor.
Yeah, so in this game, it's not. It doesn't matter. It'd have to be the document. Yeah,
yeah.
It's irrelevant at this point. With one exception of if he was playing Profundity, which he isn't, you can go Profundity, shuttle Luke up, play the Falcon on it, move Profundity to the Death Star, move Falcon 2 sectors.
Right.
I have done that before. I mean, and that one, like, if you can set that up, that's really effective because then you just put a clock of 2 turns for them to set up any set for stun or try and shoot things down, and also basically ends the game.
Yeah.
So Rogue One being able to push straight there is nice, but you do miss the profundity being able to actually just carry stuff around. John Anderson, an excellent point in the chat. If he was expecting TTO, not playing Philo would be a mistake. There's Philo.
There's Philo.
There we go. And we already saw at least one set for stun hit the lost pile from Reid, so he probably only has one more. And it's entirely possible that Brian has some consequential barriers or something, which helps. And we did see U3B hit the lost pile, so he might be able to start forcing some damage through there. But unless... Okay, so there's the Falcon. There we go. All right, so yeah, so he's going for it. I think he's doing what Casey just described. Oh, it looks like that's Anakin.
Anakin on the Falcon. There we go.
Yeah, and now
To Kashyyyk.
I bet we will see Rey.
Yep, there she is.
Yep. The email in chat says Rogue One in general is a mistake. I mean, some people have seen it run it fairly effectively. I think Justin Decisive was playing it yesterday, so I mean it can be.
I'm inclined to agree
useful,
with Emil,
but
it's a very situational
it seems to
card.
me like Tantive 4 is just better at what you want to do there.
Yeah, especially
or, like
in the map
Profundity is
matchup.
better for fighting. Tantive 4 is better because I mean that makes Starkiller base a battleground, or
Exactly.
the Death Star 2 a battleground. I mean, and that's just way cooler. So. Yeah, he's got to move over. I mean, it would make zero sense to deploy that and fight. I mean, that's just dying. So he's got to be moving over. There is no sight from that pile, but I know Reid's playing it. I mean, he has had plenty of time to draw cards, and he wasn't afraid to top deck earlier. So I would be highly surprised if he does not have all the pieces in his hand. I think he even had 2 of the gun, actually. I seem to recall him losing one off the top from hand after he already had one on the table. Alright, so now we have the Falcon on screen, which means we didn't see anything of what just happened, but interesting. Did he just leave them at Kashyyyk? Or, no, he's searching his use pile. Okay, good.
Still doing the race search. We
Yeah,
didn't
I
miss
was
anything.
like...
Thank you, Brian, for taking a
that's
long
not
time.
possible.
This is why we like to have Kevin Shannon on stream. We can go do all kinds of things and come back and not miss anything. Now he moves them over.
Yep, there we go. So he's at the first sector, and so he's got Rey. So his maneuver is equal to 6. So his movement destiny cannot possibly fail unless he doesn't have a card in his reserve deck. And since he's the light side player, he doesn't have to worry about you do have your moments actually redrawing it.
Well, he's got to worry about close call.
No,
close
that's
call
only
doesn't
during
hit.
battle.
Battle, yep.
Exactly.
Okay.
So he doesn't have to worry about it.
Yep.
All right, so now Reid either has set for stun. He's got the tie. Now Reid probably isn't. He still has enough in his deck. It looks like he probably can't activate down to something. It's iffy whether or not he can just track down to it. Now he may have been planning in advance, so he may already have destinies set up. So we'll see. So what this does. So if Reid is not able to stop the Falcon, that means the clock for Reid is he has 3 turns to do damage. He has this turn, Falcon moves to the second sector. Next turn, Falcon moves to the third sector, and then damage, and then the Falcon goes for the blow-up. Now, he also could fail. I mean, he'll be adding 6. He'll need a 3, and if Reid plays We Still Go Our Efforts, he'll need a 5, and if there's a Dark Time, he'll need a 6. So it's entirely possible to fail once or twice trying to get the thing actually blown up. But if he's able to shoot it down, then they just drain. Yeah, Bastion, I think he's playing multiples. It's such an essential card for the deck. It would be strange to not play multiples.
Hey, Kevin, good to see you.
Kevin Shannon. Yeah, that was amazing.
I was just trying to get you out.
Summon Kevin Shannon
Into the open.
works. We should try that in an event. Dude, you should come to Seattle for the Grand Prix.
We got Emil, Kevin, Bastion, all.
Yeah,
on the
you guys
stream
should
right
all
now.
come
Yeah.
come for the Grand Prix. Everybody, it'd be amazing. A great time over in Seattle. All right, so
Is that Ahsoka?
I think that might be Ahsoka.
Ahsoka and Jin.
Yeah, that new foil Ahsoka could be.
Yeah.
Oh, Tarkin's
We got-
bounty on Tarkin.
Tarkin's bounty on
oh,
Tarkin,
that's
all right.
awesome. That is beautiful. That's one. Now, Brian conveniently has a bit shuffle, but we may see that come into play here pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
But that is so huge because, I mean, you can just auto set for stun. You can auto shoot the guy. I mean, you know what the top of your deck is. That is an amazing card. Oh, and actually, in this deck, that's as good as the second force push. Because even if you get an opening hand, you can play Ozzel for 0 and put it on Ozzel to get that force push.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so there we go.
You've got
There's the
Tartag to
scythe.
thank for that, and then there's the Scythe with Meanda.
Oh, Mark Walseth, what it does is...
It's on the screen right now.
if it's on Tarkin, yeah, just read it. But in case you can't read cards, it says, once per turn, may peek at the top card of any reserve deck. So you can look at your opponent's, you can look at yours. That's if it's on Tarkin. So, yeah, it's a pretty sweet card.
Oh, and he
actually.
shot him.
Oh. And boom.
There goes that. That'll probably lock up the game for Reid.
So at this point, Brian's just trying to do damage. I mean, if he has Unita, he can at least get it back, or Obi-Wan maybe, but I don't think...
He's gonna need Anakin too.
I mean, it'll take too long to
Yeah.
set up. Like, it takes too long.
He's already used his once per game double move.
Yeah. And, I mean, he can just shoot it down again. Like, you have no way to stop it. Like, he drew the image of the Dark Lord for the Destiny. So
No, the image is on... he drew a 5 for the Destiny. The image is on the landing
was it
platform.
Oh, I see. Yeah, the image was confusing me. Sorry.
Yeah.
Put it under the sights, guys. Effects go under sights. Just leave the text showing. Yeah, so that means no, they're tracking us. Yeah, that they're tracking us. He lost early. Would it come in handy? Reid's deck has good destinies. He probably doesn't have more than 9 or 10 characters tops. And other than like a Gick and the control set for stuns, most of the red is really good destinies. You maybe a Monarch, but you got Masterful Move and things to help mitigate that. So there's lots of good destiny in the deck. I think the standard list has something on the order of 25 cards that are like Destiny 4+, and most of those are 5s. So you start filtering out all the sectors and your pilots and ships, and the destiny just gets really good.
Brian's looking at the tie right now to see if there's anything he can do about that.
Well, he does have one thing. He's got Rogue One. So if he has characters in hand, if he's got he could actually deploy there and fight, and Reid may not be expecting that. So that's probably what he's looking at right now. But Reid probably has Gick.
Well, let's
Yes,
say
it's-
let's say he's just able to clear it out. Can he blow the Death Star with Rogue One?
Technically, yes. I mean, you can blow it up with anything. It just needs a pilot with ability. You just have to draw high enough.
What I meant was, does he have the ability to do so? Given that he's lost Anakin at this point, Luke's on table already.
I mean, if you have to go for it, you have to go for it. So either you Jedi Lev back Anakin, or you just go for it with Rey. I mean, if you have 7s in your deck, you can do it with a 4 ability character.
But he lost Rey too.
Corrin.
Yeah, because he's got Corrin maybe.
So it can be done.
Now Meanda doesn't draw on his own, right?
No, but the second sector, when it's operational, adds a destiny at the Death Star or the system it's orbiting, and the system it's orbiting. So it would still get a draw. But I mean, if Brian has, if he has good destinies, then he's like Rogue One, Lando Hera.
There it is. There's Rogue One. See what he's got. That
Looks like
Hera.
it's.
Couldn't really see.
I think it's Lando Calrissian Scoundrel.
There's
There's
Rey.
Rey. Oh, and he might be playing 2 Reys. I mean, Rey is an awesome card.
It's worth it to play 2 Reys.
So you got to figure out that's a Lando or something, Lando or Hera.
They do essentially the same thing in this situation.
Yeah, the Hera redraw though. If he doesn't
Hera
actually have
redraw.
destinies set up, that redraw is huge because most of your bad destinies tend to be 1s, and so when you but Rey's not a rebel.
But
so
Rey's
that
not a
doesn't
rebel,
matter.
so it's not.
Yeah.
If I guess he doesn't have any locations left in the deck.
If you have 2 rebels, then it's good.
Battle planes. If he draws the battle planes.
Yeah. Yeah, if you draw battle planes, you have to think he would put it on the table by now, though.
No, I mean if it's his deck for
Yeah.
Destiny.
The other thing, like, if he tried to use Corrin, so, like the Rey here is nice because if he tries to use Corrin, the other thing is that hurts his undercover spy protection, and it's entirely possible is like he does that, and then Reid's next turn he's like Erica to the docking bay.
That's true.
and he has at least one imbalance combo.
You see U-3PO is the top card of the Lost Pile still, and he has a no escape.
yeah.
You retrieve the Falcon.
Walkling. Yeah. I mean, I don't think retrieving I guess it gives him another ship, but it's just.
No, I'm with you on this. It's not the most important thing you could have gotten back.
Because unless even Rogue One, you're running out of time to blow it up. Because I mean, you're just eating 4+ damage a turn right now, and so it just takes too long. But this could be good if he has good destinies. He could be doing some overflow through Meanda. Yeah, it's the SFS LS 7.2 TIE cannon. Does Meanda fire it free?
Let's find out.
I know he has 2 to the weapon destiny. All right, he's looking up the card, so if there's anything happening that's important in these 10 seconds, you'll figure it out afterwards. Okay, he does not fire it free, but did Reid Dark Time? Okay, yeah, so Reid Dark Timed. Brian is trying to sense the Dark Time. And he fails to sense. Draws a 6. That's unfortunate.
We were talking about that in the last game. It's always risky to sense when Luke is your highest ability character.
So he lost the All Wings Report In combo to the Sense Draw, or to the Dark Time, rather. Yeah, so he hits Rogue One. All right, so he's got 2 draws. We got a Lando and a Speak. So that's total battle destiny of 10. Power. Oh, so Rogue One's like power 2 or something. It's like really low.
Mm-hmm.
So he's only got like 6. Let's see, 10. So yeah, it's gonna be like 16, and then did Reid not draw?
Reid doesn't draw.
Well, no, he
gets
adds
the
one.
He adds one, right?
He adds one. He just lost a card. He lost the short range combo. Oh, he spun. That's what he did.
Okay.
Yeah. Because if he drew a 1, I think he still would have had to lose some overflow, but getting a 4 there puts him at like power 8, power 9. So, I mean, he's losing like 1 or 2 cards. I believe it's an automatic move for free. And I don't think the capacity mess. I think it just automatically moves you out. I'm not 100% sure on that. If it becomes relevant, we will happily look up the rules to see exactly what happens to the tie in the sectors.
Who's winning?
Reid. Shot the Falcon. So, since he hasn't put the tie in the lost pile, he's just got to be figuring out if he has to lose any other cards and what the order is. Because, yeah, I think that scythe is like power 1, and Neanda has 3, so that's 4.
It's power
He's span
4,
of 4. Yeah, so he would have had
He's going
8.
to lose the tie.
Yeah, I think the tie and Neanda are both 3 forfeits. So, yeah, he looks like he lost Imperial Decree, Darth Maul, and
Dark Maneuvers off the top. All right, so
maybe
Brian's
Rogue One is
got
power 3.
that
so.
Falcon left that he can track around, but at this point, I think it's too late to do anything with it. By the time you blow the Death Star, you're going to be dead.
He only blow the Death Star. His best hope.
I would just put the Falcon to Endor at this point. Yeah,
exactly.
Satisfy battle plan.
Go to Endor.
Yeah.
Just trying to.
He can still load it up with Solo and Chewie. You know that's a perfectly valid play if you're not trying to blow up the Death Star. Reid doesn't have a ton of cards left either.
Oh, you fucking locked the door.
Just push.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way when it's locked.
So. Yep.
All right, those look like they were from
there's-
hand.
Yep. So there's 2. There's 3. Paying 3 to drain for 2 more.
How do you feel about pitching the Sorry About the Mess here? If Reid has an undercover spy.
I think he has Corrin. Also, if I don't remember if Brian's had any verifies, but he's seeing balanced combos. He may just not rely on it.
That's fair.
Thank you, Jan. Okay, yes. So the ties must move back toward the Death Star 2 if there are no Light Star fighters at any Death Star 2 sectors during the Dark Side's move phase. For free, 1 sector per turn.
Was that altar from deck? I'm assuming. And there's Erica.
There's Erica.
Yeah. I'm assuming the altar was from deck. Otherwise, he would have tried to alter image, right? Image isn't
Depends what the shield is under. There is no try.
I guess, but even if it's oppressive, you can still get in. I don't think it is, but you can still get in a turn of damage.
Yeah, he still might try that. I mean, he could always solo and alter it. He needs to be wary of sense and alter draws.
Right.
Not sure exactly how much Reid has. I guess he's in the low 20s right now.
Go take a glance at Life Force counts.
Jan, I would assume that it makes the automatic move, and then they could optionally move it out or leave it where it is. Casey's disappeared. He's going to try and get a sense of the counts, I think. Alright, there's the 3PO after some activation. I think that was the Falcon. I wasn't counting, but that's probably the Falcon. Reid's getting cold feet.
Both players. Sorry.
How dare you interrupt me?
Both players appear to have Life Force counts in the teens with relatively large hands. And minimizing cards on table, as John said, is smart for Reid. Smart for both players.
There we go.
I
There's
guess.
the battle planes.
About time. Now, if he can get the Falcon to Endor and get to the battle planes, now that's going to pump his damage
Obi-Wan,
potential a
so
lot.
he can get any card back. But it does cost him, it's a net loss of 1 if he does that. All right, there's Solo.
Interesting. So that probably means he's not planning on going to space in this game.
I mean, Reid still has enough force, and he has the Slave 1. I mean, even if you go like solo Chewy Falcon, like that's hitting the lost pile the following turn,
Mm-hmm.
and so you just had a bunch of force to do damage to yourself. But he's got solo, so he can sorry from the lost pile on the next turn. Casey's looking up a virtual card. What card are you looking up? So impressed you actually know which set the various cards are from. I lost track after set 4.
I have some idea.
Which card are we looking for?
Solo.
Oh yeah, he should be set 4. But not set 4 stun.
Oh.
Oh snap. Yeah, sorry, the more sleep deprived I get, the worse my jokes get. And we're not starting with a high bar there, folks.
So what we didn't see that turn is corn. And that's not good. If Brian doesn't have the corn, that's a big problem.
Yeah, I mean I think he'll definitely try and sorry the next turn, but
That could just backfire if Reid's holding imbalance.
yep. Which I think is highly likely.
And not only that, it telegraphs the play for a full turn, so Reid, if he doesn't have it, he can try to draw into it.
Alright, here we go. See, so now Reid can activate as much as he wants relative to his life force. So he can definitely get down to track destinies to do anything he likes. I mean, he probably still has them all. Like he lost one earlier, but he's probably running 2. So, I mean, he might just go after Solo and Obi-Wan if he wants.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, if he's, his reserve deck's probably just chock full of good destinies at this point. So I mean, even if you were to say hit Solo and then get like blaster inflected on Obi, he's still probably just high enough to crack his immunity.
If he has like escape pod combo in his hand, I don't know if he's already played one.
He has not played any yet. Oh, and we shall double our efforts. Okay, so he was probably saving it in case that came out. Yeah, so Reid's thinking how much he wants to save. Save 1. Nope, activate it all. Okay, so yeah, Reid's definitely not fighting this turn.
Now he's going to put one back, and there's the escape pod combo.
Yeah.
Reid's got to grab that.
Yep. I mean, he has a free grabber, and he has that one. The free grabber is nice for getting a 6 destiny back, because he's got the infiltrator that he lost right at the start of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So, auto stack a 6 if you need it. It's interesting to me that Reid has not split to 2 systems already. It's like he was content to go to the 1 system,
He doesn't need to.
but the lack of damage. Well, in terms of
Winning the game.
yes,
You're
probably,
right.
but it probably costs him differential. Because the 3 cards he put down are going to be more than made up for by the 2 extra damage that drain every turn. I mean, and because, like, Fett and Slave 1 and any pilot...
I wonder if he does it this turn now that he's seen Solo go to ground.
Well, I mean, the later you get in the game, that's 3 life force, at least 2, if not 3 life force you're putting on table.
Right.
So it's just doing you less benefit, because it's 3 less cards you can lose. And as a dark side player, you can lose your whole hand. You're not worried about limited resources.
Mm-hmm.
So you can just put them down.
I got limited resources played against me yesterday for the first time in probably 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, I got limited today.
And he is gonna go
so
down.
Reid's going to go down now.
Fett, Slave
Okay.
1.
see. Let's see. How much does Brian have left? Question is if he has enough to put down the Falcon and 2 guys to draw 2 Destiny against Fett.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. And definitely not enough to pay to drain, do that to Endor, save Destiny. Well, no, he's got 2 saved.
Well, yeah, he's got 2 saved for Sorry About the Mess. Yeah.
Oh, man. And that also, I think, you really got to save a third because the huge problem you have right there is if you just have 2 Destinies, he can just close call redraw one of them, and then you probably, unless you're
unless you got double 6s, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Tarkin's orders. Oh, I guess he has Erica there, so he figures it's locked up. He's not going to need that.
That's. Oh, he's going to use the Obi one for Sorry About the Mess, not Solo.
Makes sense. Get the extra play.
Yep.
No, John Anderson.
Although,
regarding the cancel, it's not the wait. The cancel and redraw. Oh, I guess you're right. Yes.
Reid can grab
Let's
the
see.
Sorry About the Mess.
Weapon or battle destiny is -3. Yes. Okay. Yeah, you're right. I was wrong. -3, but not cancel. John Anderson is correct. I was not thinking my cards correctly.
Qui-Gon. Barely got it. Does Reid have a dark time?
Yeah, he's got the close call for -3.
For -3, yeah.
Which functionally means he would have needed 9. So yeah, not double 6, but still
Right.
5-4.
I'm surprised Reid doesn't grab that because
surprised.
now he can play it with Solo.
Brian has
He is.
3.
He is.
I'm surprised he didn't stack.
He's
going
to grab it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
Brian's in trouble now.
Yes, Mark, he missed. He drew a 1 and a 5, and Reid close called. You really have to set up. Basically, you need to set up 2 5s there at least, so that you can get through a dark time and close call if they have it, because you really need that to go through.
This game is likely a turn or 2 from being over. What's Reid doing? 6 damage next turn?
Yeah, 7 actually, unless there's an escape pod combo.
Right.
Yep. So Reid will just cycle any cards he can, and then Brian doesn't think he can do any more damage. He's just going to start losing it off the deck. Yes, Brian grabbed the masterful move just to prevent Reid getting it back in his life force for a point differential. So let's see what's left. So Walking's already used. Reid could, if he's at a point where Brian can't pay to drain, he actually could just use something special planned for them to put the escape pod back and retrieve a starship if he has cards in hand to lose, but I don't know how many he has in hand. And Brian still has a big hand, so he can survive a turn or 2. I mean, he might as well.
Well, but to what gain?
Oh,
Because
well,
Reid's
just paying to
gonna-
drain. You just
Right,
pay-
yeah, but Reid's just going to lose from hand. Reid has a big enough hand that he's...
Reid
not
has
gonna-
no retrieval. You might as well at least burn it out. I mean, it's not like he can play on the edge or anything, so it doesn't hurt anything to just keep paying to drain as long as you can. And I don't think Reid's hand is actually that big. It only looks like maybe 4 cards. So, might as well keep going. Yeah. Yeah, so Reid's just going to activate it all. There's the 3 TTO.
There's Maul. I think he didn't even pay for the last drain. Hit him for 5, and then he played Maul.
Well, Obi and Solo are the only way he can cause any more damage to Reid, and he has a big enough hand that he would be able to do some more damage.
But he can't battle this turn. He didn't leave any.
Well, he just pulled a Gick.
Yeah.
So, and Brian only has 4 cards in his life force, so he
Okay.
can't deploy anyone in battle. And if he battles, Reid just hits them both. So he's just blocking the damage.
It's fair. But I guess Maul and Gick is 2 cards, which is what he would have lost to the 4 string.
Yeah, but that's that'll stop that damage completely instead of losing to it several times. Because Brian had enough there that it looked like his hand was 10 cards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just having seen Reid pull a Gick, you're still gonna die, even having 3 guys.
Well, he needs to draw well to clear the site.
His destinies are all 5s and 6s.
Okay. Is there a dodge in the lost pile, maybe? That you can use with Solo?
Or blaster deflection.
Or blaster reflection?
Well, but if Reid knows he's drawing a 5,
well,
he'll
blaster
just swing at the other guys. Yeah. So a dodge might work.
a dodge would work better than a blaster reflection.
Yeah, because he's not going to swing at Obi. He'll just kill him with Trisha.
All right, so it hits Solo. Well, that would have been a miss. There's a 1 in there. Oh, maybe he swung at Obi. Maybe he swung at Obi and missed there.
Interesting.
He did.
Oh, well, I guess it doesn't matter about King.
And he drew a 1 for battle
Wow,
listing.
so I thought he was going to have better destinies, but
Yeah.
he wasn't. Lando was going to go out of play anyway, so that doesn't really matter. That means Obi lives.
Right?
So that was not as effective as Reid was hoping for. I think he had mostly good destinies, but yeah, those were not the good ones. Interesting.
And he's going to burn the Solo pull on. They're tracking us, because why not? That's going to let Lando survive, but he doesn't have any force.
And go out of play. Yeah.
Out of play, yeah.
What are you going to do? Lose to
Lose
send
to
Lando
from
and
hand.
use? That doesn't seem particularly winning. But still, the Maul and the Gick, that's 2 cards he would have lost to the drain, but now that's more cards out of Brian's hand to do that.
Right.
5, 6, 7 or 8 cards left in the reserve in the force pile there for Brian. It looks like he has a 3 in hand.
He drew up.
Okay,
Or no, he didn't. I thought he just took everything, but he didn't.
so it looks like Reid has 2 in hand, I think. Casey has gone in to try and get a better count. So I don't know if Reid can outright destroy him this turn and deplete his life force, but 1, 2, yeah, drain. 2 more. It's I think he can get him. Looks like Brian's down to 3, so if he gets him down to 3, he can still drain for the 2 cards in his hand, but that's functionally irrelevant. Oh, no escape.
No escape in Saber 1. Reid's got 11 life force and 2 cards in hand. Brian has 3 life force and 1 card in hand.
Yeah, so Reid's just padding diff. He can just lose the 2 cards.
There's nothing Reid can cycle, and
Yeah, on his. Oh, there's a dark time.
where'd that come from?
Reid's hand.
Did he draw for it?
No, he just had it.
Not a minute ago he didn't.
Well, he must have just. Oh, was that the card he lost and no escaped?
Oh, maybe, yeah, he probably no escape for Dark Time and cycled it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he drains the last 2 in his hand.
Should only be, yeah.
Yep. So then Reid right here.
Okay.
Oh, he didn't milk diff. Reid, you missed a card.
What could you have gotten back?
He could have played something special
Oh,
put him in
something
lost
special
pile
to
to retrieve
retrieve.
a starship.
Sure.
So whatever he wins by, he could have won by one
I don't
more.
think he had any force active.
No, Brian couldn't draw up because he paid a drain. So Reid could activate on his turn,
Okay.
get it back, and then do all the damage.
Got it.
So Reid missed one diff. So we'll see if that comes back to haunt him
So
later.
I think that was 11, but we'll double check. $11.
11. Got a good close game. I imagine they'll probably take a short break and then get moving with game 2. Yes, John Anderson, smaller lost pile is better because if you finish the match tied on differential, whoever has less than lost piles is the winner. The total aggregate lost pile count. So Reid with 11.
What happened in the first game?
Reid by 11.
So, doable.
Mm-hmm.
Good rhyme.
Agreed.
We are back, and we are ready to get going for Game 2 of the Match Play Championship Finals in just a moment.
Okay. Tom Kelly is active judging, which is great.
Yeah, you're allowed to
I
active judge
Oh, I know.
on day 3.
Oh, I know they have one. I'm just like,
Yeah.
I wish we'd had them to the semifinals.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I actually might have made it.
Oh, because of the...
Because we both missed something.
Yeah. All right, so Reid is playing, he is the chosen one, starting Like My Father Before Me, Insurrection Aim High, and Walkling. This is a deck that, it's essentially Throne Remains, but you start with slightly better activation and you go second. Brian is playing the Endor Operations mains deck that we saw him play on camera in the last round. He starts I Am Your Father, Establish Control, and Combat Response. He does not need to waste a starting slot on Endor Shield because he goes first now, and he starts with the Prepared Defenses interrupt instead of According to My Design, which he played against Justin in the last match.
Okay, now, so an important point of clarification here. Which one of them is actually the chosen one? Like, is saying he's the chosen one talking about Reid
Anakin.
himself, or is it actually talking about Brian?
Oh,
Are you thinking that's, like, I mean, which player?
it would depend who you asked.
Like, good answer.
If you ask Reid, I think he would say that he's the chosen one. Reid won the first MPC that was held back in 2007. This is now, I believe, the 12th MPC that we've had.
I think he won another one in there, didn't he?
Did he? It's possible.
Sure. Okay, Reid's objective. So this is...
I'm gonna bring it up
it's
on-
There is Good in Him Reimagined. So you start with Conflict. You start with the Jedi Council Chamber and the new Ewok Village, which is a interior-exterior, but no vehicles or starships allowed. The Prophecy of the Force is an effect that can teleport around... basically, whenever a character of ability greater than 4... Or no, whenever a site is drained at... It's not a character, it's just whenever a player drains more than 5 ability at a site, at a battleground, the effect moves there.
Yeah, Prophecy is basically a light side presence of the Force that can move from site to site.
And it only works at battlegrounds.
Yes.
And so it starts at the JCC doing nothing, but then once it moves out, once somebody starts draining, and at the Ewok Village, it cannot move from there if a Skywalker is there. So a player can use it. If they take... they start draining, like Luke there at the Ewok Village, it'll stay there, and it becomes a 2-2.
I'm glad that Phil was able to explain that because I don't know what the deck does. People just told me it was terrible, and I kind of ignored
Yeah.
it, but here it is in the finals.
There's no, you can't play Episode 1 Jedi except Yoda, Padawans, you get a battle for free. So it causes some weird activation issues because you start the JCC, so you don't have as much pullable, so you kind of have to go with docking bays or something. But you do battle for free, which helps a bit. And the flip side, which I'm sure we'll see here before too long, it does some cool stuff. Like, it's got some cool mechanics because I think it's during your draw phase when you're flipped, you can retrieve any card from your lost pile. Well, to be clear, you can target to retrieve any card, but your opponent can stack your card of conflict to instead place it on play.
This is certainly an interesting event given that this is certainly the first time since the reset and really the first time in a long time that there were 3 new objectives released less than a month ago. And now we've had a big event with them, and I believe all 3 of them have appeared on camera at least once this weekend. So a lot of new decks, people maybe not familiar with a lot of them. We see a first turn Slave 1 and Boba Fett using combat response from Brian, probably going down to Endor. He also gets out Endor Shield
And
with the
Fondor.
bunker's game text and pulls Fondor using Established Control Virtual. Very good start. For Brian, you hope that he has some type of maybe a barrier or something in his hand for the very aggressive start. He's going to use Endor Shield now to pull out Thrawn, and that's Virtual Thrawn. Reid's going to take a look at that.
See, and he got the Blockade Flagship Bridge, so that's... I didn't see the first game, but it's entirely possible that is all of his activation already on the table.
we'll see. Does he go ahead and put Ozzel down on the ship as well? That'd be pretty standard, because with the FET once per game exchange, you can pull Imperial Command.
He certainly wants Ozzel.
Fight. So I assume he's going to go for this. I mean, he's possibly activated Ozzel, and he may just want to save him for the ground for now. I don't know how much he knows about Reid's list, so it's difficult to say how informed his decisions are here.
I think this is
only
the
has
same deck that Reid played yesterday.
Yeah. I just don't know how much info he has on it.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he knows some because, I mean, Reid's going to get 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 force. So there's very little he can probably do to just FET. Because if you draw 1 Destiny, they can just exchange for close call, and then you're guaranteed, you're not killing FET. Let's see. What card are we looking for now?
I just want to show Prophecy quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think the no odds looking. Okay, so Reid just missed. That's got to be the docking base. If he activated both, that's bad.
Well, you activate more on your first turn with Hitco than you do with Throne Room, and this is one of the downsides.
That'll teach you.
I think I'd still take it every time activating 7 as opposed to 4, but
well, you go first. I mean,
yeah.
What we're really saying is we just need Son V to come back so you can go first with non-Throne Room.
I missed it. I missed the 3-2 deck. I missed that deck.
Yeah, 3-2 was fun. The 2-2 was fun.
The 2-2 was just a watered down 3-2, but yeah, that was still a good time.
Yeah, it was really good. One card I don't think I've seen anyone play at this event was the new Luke.
I have. I saw a few people play it.
Which I think is interesting. It's just hard to figure out where he fits deck wise. Mm-hmm. So it looks like Reid must have drawn 1 docking bay and then activated the other.
And he's also got the Boss Nest Chamber, so he's in pretty good shape. That's all of his activation.
Most of the big thing is just giving up that verify.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
I mean, you had 8 cards in your hand. You have, 10 or so on the table. You had 8 cards in your force pile.
Brian's also taking a look at Prophecy.
And Brian's got the rest.
So Luke to the Ewok Village is a good start for Reid on turn 1 as well. I know Brian Fred is currently in the Constellation event playing Young Skywalker, the new Luke, in a Watch Your Step Raiders racing deck that looks like a lot of fun.
Oh, you outed that one. Now it can't be a secret for the next time.
Well, he's currently playing it, so I don't think it's going to stay a secret much longer.
Worry. But the deck looks fun as hell. That's for sure. Last
I saw Brian, it was not going well.
Yeah, he wanted me to play that today. I didn't.
I think Tom Kelly was also using it in his QMC yesterday.
Yeah, Young Skywalker. I was actually thinking about the Rebellion's Hope one, the add to.
That one, the non-Jedi.
Sorry, there were 2 new Lukes.
New Lukes.
Like 3 objectives, 2 Lukes, new Maul,
the Andrew Moss Luke.
New everybody.
I did not see anyone using the Andrew Moss Luke.
Yes, but I think it's actually good in the right deck. But yeah, like finding the right fit in the yard. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Young Skywalker. I think is actually a pretty pretty sweet spotted card. Like if it was anywhere it wouldn't see play, but it's just good enough that it makes sense in some decks like QMC, like Diplo. Just with the guaranteed deploy 6 as opposed to 8 for Jedi Luke, the redraw that helps mitigate him being Destiny 1.
You can also get a guaranteed deploy 6 Jedi Luke if you want to. Play the card that makes you a deploy 6 Jedi Luke.
Yes, but there are the decks where you don't want that, like QMC or Diplo. So, yeah, I think Design did a nice job with that card of balancing it. Just neither too powerful, but still playable.
Right. I think it's all right. I'm not sure what decks I would put it in, although I do tend towards Throne Room and decks like that more often. Here's Tarkin's orders on Ozzel, who
Tarkin's
was
Bounty.
I'm sorry, Tarkin's Bounty. So Brian's going to get a force pile search.
Yeah. So Tarkin's Bounty virtual. Should we bring that one up? It was like I can tell you what the text is, or we can look at it.
I think we had it up during the last game.
Did we?
Right?
Oh yeah, that's right. We had it in the last stream. So yeah, you can just refer to Scomplic Access, which is fantastic, or whatever to look at Tarkin's Bounty's text.
But it's gonna give Brian a force pile search now, and then it's gonna let him.
That's basically all it does in this game.
Yeah, it's not on Tarkin, so it's not gonna let him peek.
And Reid's not playing Leia Rebel Princess. So,
Right.
yeah. It is functionally done.
Oh, but here's Lord Vader
Yeah,
for 6
but-
Force down to meet Luke.
Yeah.
We're going to rumble at the Ewok village. Last time Vader was there, he was getting burned.
Casey, that was just fantastic. I could just play that 10 seconds on repeat, and it would be worth every second.
Vader's lightsaber as well.
Yeah, so this is the interesting fight. You have Lord Vader going up against Jedi Luke with, like my father before me,
Which makes Luke power 8, adding 1 to his Destiny draws. I was actually thinking, one of the things you're talking about is it'd be interesting to run just like Math Vader in Endor Ops, because...
Not so much with Justice hitting the table now.
No.
Emperor, Phantom Menace, according to my design. Those are some
There you
good
go.
destinies stacked on Justice. I bet Brian wishes he still had those on top of his deck, although I guess you do shuffle before
So
you stack on Justice.
So with Endor, it's power 8 Vader against power 8 Luke. If he takes a card off Justice, they're both just drawing straight up. This is
I like taking the Emperor here.
straight up. They might say mono on mono, but that just means hand to hand. It doesn't mean like one on one or anything. So I mean, solo and solo. These are Skywalkers, not solos. So that also doesn't fit. But we'll just see. We got some destinies and maybe some blaster deflections and force fields. I mean, this might end up in just some kind of crazy standoff where they don't really do anything to each other. Sort of bounce off.
Weapon of a Sith from Brian. Probably a good
Yeah.
play.
yeah, definitely a good play.
Reed's already got his only Jedi carry that weapon shield out. Reed again already shield busted. Grabber, Professor, Battle Plan, only Jedi carry that weapon.
Oh, he's got...
Blaster deflection
he has
from
at least
Reed.
one, if not two, hear me.
That's going to
please.
get grabbed. Oh yeah, these aren't the only shields that Reed's going to play, but currently he'll need an interrupt.
I think he
If he wants to play more.
maybe one of those already.
It's possible.
For sure.
Reed's usually pretty good about turning his extra shield sideways. So
Yeah, and I would think you'd hold that card. Once he plays Justice, you're less worried. But I have you now is obviously a problem, and Hear Me Baby is the best mitigant. Oh,
1-5
Well, that's not
is
gonna hit
not going to
anything.
hit Vader, so we got no
Yeah.
hit characters all around.
all
and
right. So now it's just Destiny against Destiny.
Let's see if someone has a Destiny add or interrupt.
And he's gonna
gonna
take
take
the Emperor,
Emperor
off
off
Justice.
Justice,
Yep,
okay.
There we go. That's a good call. And Reed is going to.
Draw 5.
He's looking. He's playing the Hujix. There's no way he'd play it. I mean, it's not like Vader's going to draw a 7 or anything. But that would be a blowout.
Oh, he's playing the escape pod.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's playing it to pull Hujix just to make sure out of the deck because he might have to top deck.
Got it. I thought that
couple
was his
here.
Destiny draw. And obviously Brian would have to draw first because he initiated.
Yeah. So,
Zombie
he's
Vader
gonna
rises
take
out
his
of the
top
funeral
deck.
pyre. Yes, Kevin, that's how it should have ended. A 5 and a 3.
All right. Yeah. So that's 2. So you lose the Headington Medical Frigate. That's an easy call.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Reed's going to have to lose a couple cards here.
Yeah. I mean, just lose the Headington Medical Frigate. I mean,
Probably just one card, I guess.
I mean,
right?
and
He's
he
down
just
one.
retrieved that the last turn with his objective. So.
Mhm.
Well, he's down 2 because Endor adds 1 to Reed's power, so it's 8 on 8.
Got it.
So they
Okay.
were straight up, and then 5 and 3. So
Like my father before me adds to the draws or to the total?
draws.
Draws.
Each
Okay,
draw.
so
I mean, you can do some,
each draw,
some
so it's
stupid
shut
stuff like
off.
that,
Okay.
and Anakin.
Right.
Like if Justice is on table, and you're like Anakin, the Force is strong with this one. I mean, you can do ridiculousness. It will be interesting to see, depending on Brian's hand here, if he leaves Vader in front or if he moves him away. I think he probably moves him away.
I think you have to move him here.
Yeah, and then hope he doesn't run the run.
It's Reed.
Oh, he loses Leia of Alderaan. That's a little interesting.
What does that do?
So this is really cool. Like we actually, Reid just figured this out yesterday while he was playing it. Didn't even realize it, and I hadn't thought of it either. So what Leia of Alderaan does is you play it on a Rebel leader, though ironically you can't play it on General Leia Organa. And what it does is at same location, opponent may not modify or cancel your Force Strains, which is amazing when most dark side systems have Force Strain -1 in their game text. Because you put it in space, and all of a sudden, Corita, Korilag, Nal Hutta, Fondor, all become Drain 2s. Endor, too, as well. So that's actually really cool. Space application I think we'll see more of going forward. And then if it's on Leia, it actually makes her a general, power +2, and once per turn she can cancel immunity to attrition of a character or the game text of a Jabba's Palace icon alien present.
I'm grateful that you've committed all of these new cards to memory.
Yeah, I'm in proofing. So
Okay. so-
yeah, I was the first proofing team member to win a world championship, or probably
Wow.
even a major event. Well, I don't know. I think Reid actually is on
I
proofing.
think you get promoted from proofing to development after that.
No, I don't. No, thank you. I like playing good cards other people make. I don't think I would make very good cards. Maybe like one. I mean, I basically designed impressive, most impressive, which is probably a strike against me. But
I like that card. You designed that?
it was that was a contest entry.
Okay.
It was like V6, and people were out to
Original
take entries,
V6.
and it was like crowd voted on, and that was the winning entry.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's
I felt like
good
it was a
card.
thematic card, which was fun. So, I mean, I like the card, but I know that some people don't or think it's a bad card, and that's fine.
I used to love it in my old school combat deck circa like 2008.
Oh, yeah. Go first. You
Yeah.
mess with stuff really hardcore. The 3/2.
At the 3/2, it's like I'll take the first action
Yeah,
and
you
I'll
put
send
four on
your
down, and you're like,
guy
yeah, let's
used.
put
Yeah,
four in the
right.
use pile.
John Anderson, step up your game.
Yes, yes, in the chat. Yes, Reid never won Worlds, but he's won NPCs and other major events, and so that's what I was clarifying. Yeah, don't worry, John. I don't have all the cards memorized. I got blown out because Reid and I both didn't know what the backside of my objective did in our first semifinal game. So I only pretend to know what every card does.
All right, Reid's got Yoda the Jedi Council Chamber. This is a line of play that we never really saw much before last year, and now it seems like it's all the rage. Everyone's doing it. You play Yoda down for the extra activation, pull, sense alter, or control, and he's just going to kind of sit there the rest of the game. But
Seems like playing like one each of the sense alter control is pretty strong these days.
Mhm.
It just comes to play a lot. There's lots of things it's really good against. Which is also shows that design is expanding in that area because they're being more careful. It used to be it was like every effect that was good was immune to alter, and now they're actually making good effects that are not.
also shows that we don't have a great versatile Yoda in the meta. Although we do have Keeper of the
Yeah,
Peace, which is
EPP
pretty good.
Yoda with sense. Where is that guy?
That's a legacy card.
I know. So is Son V. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm,
yeah.
I'm just saying. Actually, that's one of the new cards I think is wicked cool. Tarkin's Orders is being played. I don't know if Brian is playing it.
Reid
but
was definitely
it was in
playing it in the
Reid's
last
and
game,
Mine's
yeah.
decks today. Yeah, Hiko definitely has some shield bust potential, as Kevin Shannon says. Never tell me the odds for the win would be awesome right here.
All right, here's the 3PO.
Yeah, if you could shield bust with this deck, you can have like Luke, Yoda, and like Padme or somebody, or Lando Scoundrel.
Yeah,
Actually,
Yoda's going to upload Control and Tunnel Vision.
Reid had a game yesterday. He won against Kyle. Either won or he just didn't lose by enough. But at one point, Kyle is playing Iggy, and he has Search and Destroy out, and Reid has Luke and Lando Scoundrel at the Ewok Village, and he has Yoda at the battle plane. So he has three characters, like three mains, occupying two battlegrounds, and he's still peeling every turn to Search and Destroy. It was quite entertaining.
Speaking of shield bust, the more people I talk to, the more people are in agreement that Map needs to run a Trooper Sabak.
Oh, yeah. That card should totally be in there. Except the only problem is you play like 0 Destiny. Well, I guess you have 7s and 4s, so that works.
You have 7s and 4s, and Hux.
Yeah.
Hux makes all your guys plus.
But they're not drawn for Destiny for Sabak.
No, Hux, I've heard, works on Sabak draws.
They're not Destiny draws. Sabbath draws are not Destiny draws.
But he doesn't add to your draws. He adds to their Destiny. Their Destiny plus whatever.
I think they were talking about this yesterday and said it doesn't work.
That's
But
why
you have to get that
Tarkin
ruling.
says he's Destiny plus 2 when drawn for Destiny.
Could
And
be.
Hux just says all your guys are Destiny plus 1.
All right, so folks, do your Trooper Sabak research or your mileage may vary. Somebody page Gurgal on the forums later. We'll get the answer.
He's not here today?
I'm not sure if he's here today or not. He might be inside. He might not.
Emil, I know you know the answer to this one. Help us out. So Reid is draining at the village right now. Brian's got a good setup where he doesn't have to pay to drain.
And that means Reid isn't flipped unless he clears that site.
Right. If things stay like this, and obviously they're not going to simply stay like this, but if they do stay like this, and the drain damage keeps up the way it is, we're going to get right into that territory where it looks like a win for Brian by around 11 or so, which is what he needs to win by. So, Reid's probably going to have to do something to make a move sort of soon. Emil, the question was, does Hux's first order Destiny plus 1 text, does that apply to Sabak?
So Reid's looking for something. Could have been Yoda. Don't think he has any other just blanket searches left. Could have been Boss Nass, actually. Oh, John Anderson comes through. So, yes. Hux does count. Maybe add like game 2 in progress just so it's clear that people don't like think the stream's behind or something. Alright, here we go. So, Emperor Invader, obviously a bit of a load to deal with. It was a control tunnel vision, yeah, that's what I thought. So Yoda must have pulled the control tunnel vision. So he probably checked for Boss Nass and then did the Yoda pull because he wanted to make sure he hits it. So he's got the tunnel vision, he pays 3. He's going to drain 3 because with Luke being at the village, Prophecy of the Force is staying there. It's not leaving if the other guys drain. So that's a drain of 3, and it's not... there's obviously no resistance or anything. Let's see. Now, I think that accelerate that's floating off in the middle of nowhere is Brian's lost pile. He comes in. I think he comes in Brian Fred school of thought, where your lost pile lives somewhere on the table that you determine at random. Reid's got the more traditional alignment of the Force, Reserve, and Lost, but obviously the angles are getting a little exciting. So he's got some feng shui going on right there. It's probably doing good things for him. Yeah, Trooper Sabak is great. And then, I mean, Weapon Levitation, you could say that makes a lot of sense, because then you just go steal Luke's lightsaber if they don't play the shields. Yeah, you can get him to play a lot of shields with map. Oh, snap.
Are we going to go enforcing the unofficially Admiral? Casey is on the case. Anger, fear, aggression is wrong too.
No one cares.
No one cares, says Casey, and I heartily concur. Okay, so that's Jyn Erso. Oh, and it's quite surprising you're verifying Reid's deck because he is, well, I guess you decide what it is, but he's removed the face of Jyn Erso, so Beru Lar's face is showing through. It's a bit of a shock.
That's legal.
It is legal, yes. It's a picture, you can do whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's not what you expect to see when you search through the deck. It just pops out. So obviously he's trying to bait the Force Lightnings here. It is unlikely that Ryan has any way to retrieve them, though there is the no escape potential where you Force Lightning no escape. Yeah, I don't think he would grab it, because otherwise, if Reid were to grab anything... I guess the only cards I can see Reid grabbing are the Force Field, or you hold the grabber and wait in case he does play Tarkin's Orders, because that card would probably just end the game.
Does Brian play an Isard?
I couldn't say. I wasn't watching the stream for his match.
Yeah, well, we got Mara, APP Mara, coming down in front of Luke.
Fascinating. So let's see what comes behind that. Maybe a Blizzard 4, maybe some Royal Guards. Could see, like, Kyrkanos could be cool.
Kyrkanos is such a good card.
Yeah, I think I started talking about him earlier and got distracted. Oh, Dooku, who can Force Lightning, obviously, on the defense value.
Yep.
That could be big. Reid looks to have at least 2 Force, so he can still blast or deflect if he's got one.
I don't know if I love the Force Lightning used, because that gives up a grab opportunity.
Well,
and then you can't use it on Jyn.
I don't think
and Reid's going to take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he minds. Like that was an intentional play.
So do you have another way to get Jin off? I guess sniper.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, Jedi's concentration from Reid. What a play.
There we go.
Jedi's concentration, if you're not familiar with that one, it's an old one from Tatooine. You play it at the beginning of a battle to stop all lightsabers from being fired. I used to run that in combat all the time.
Yeah, that card is amazing.
Brian looking at taking Phantom Menace off of Justice. Now, according to my design, is the last card left.
Yeah, you can just leave that card there for a while. You don't need that.
And, yeah, good point that Brian lost Krennic the turn before Jin came down.
Ooh.
Looks like he drew a Sense for Destiny and a Hera, so double threes.
So that makes Luke an 11, whereas Dooku will be a 6 because of Luke. Mara is a 5 because of Luke. So that's 11, 12, 15 against Luke's 11. So that's going to be 4 more. Just keep Luke on the table. Trading Mara for 4 force loss when you need to win by 11. That's a good trade for Brian. Be interesting to see what he does in the move phase here. Does he leave Dooku in front of Luke? Does he move... I don't think he would move Vader over. That leaves the Emperor pretty vulnerable.
Mm-hmm. Especially when Jin can break cover.
He may just move Sidious over because, like, 3 damage obviously isn't awesome, but you're still doing damage for free. And if he's spending 3 to
you say move
force drain,
Dooku over.
Yeah, like he may just move Dooku away. Because I mean, what's Reid activated right now? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So if he spends 3, he's only got 11 or 12, and that's maybe 2 characters. So there's 1.
There's the Grimtash.
There's the Hera. There's the Concentration. There's the Lisa.
Okay. Yeah, he's going to move Dooku.
Now, how many ships is Brian actually running? Because a lot of times these Ender Ops decks only actually are playing like 3 or 4 ships.
Well, how many ships is Reid running?
Only 1. But I mean, all he has to do is just play and run away. But it depends. If he gives him credit for having several ships, then
he's got at least Saber 1 and Fell also.
But I think you have to give him credit for having like Baron Fell in any ship because that's gonna do a lot of damage.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if you can get to a place where you're able to just like go down to Fondor and just run around in space, and they're chasing you, then that's a good. That helps a lot. I wouldn't know, John. I wasn't watching the stream. Emperor Shuttle.
There was an Emperor Shuttle last game also.
Okay. I mean, it's less effective with the Emperor sitting at the docking bay, but still good. Gets the Baron up to the requisite 2 Destiny stage.
It was not super impressive in the last game without the Emperor on it. And it got shot out of space. So Emil says it's never the correct play to play Force Lightning before battle. He might hit a trap or something. Emil, what about a situation where you worry that you spend your first battle action playing Force Lightning and then he swings and sorry about the messes?
Or Clash of Sabers.
Well, he could clash before battle also.
I know, I'm just saying if he's waiting, like, you might as well wait, if you're going to try and get...
Yeah, well, and at that point it doesn't matter whether it's... Yeah, Clash of Sabers too.
Alright, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So Reid has 7 cards in reserve, plus whatever's in his force pile, and he spent 3. Looks like something on the order of... I assume he just activated all he can. So he's probably something around 25. No, that's 3. Probably more like 20-something. Right, about 20. 22.
Yeah. Emil, if I were playing against like QMC or something, then you're probably right. But I think in the mains deck, I'm more on the lookout for sorry about the mess than it's a trap.
I mean, the rebeat is big.
The rebeat is big. But like, unless he grabs it, which he did, if you play it used and then he hits a traps, you can just pull it back with Emperor on his turn.
Let's see. So having life force counts, it's difficult to know exactly what the best lines of play are for Reid. I mean, if he's doing 3 to Brian's 2, that's good for him. All right, yeah, so here comes the battle planes.
Battle planes. Reid just has to force more damage through.
Yeah, now,
EPP
do we know, does Brian play Tarkin's orders?
I don't know if Brian plays Tarkin's orders.
That would be huge. We said, though. Also, I don't see Forlom going to loop it,
right?
And
but also Reid doesn't have a second grabber. Here is firepower from Brian, so he'll retrieve a force here. He's going to get
them all back, so he can draw for Destiny later. That's usually how that works.
Right.
I'm a champ at like walking things back that I want to get, and then like end up having to lose it anyway. It's like, oh, I probably wasn't smart. Yeah, so now Reid's threatening 5 to Brian's 2, but I mean, Obi has no immunity. So
theoretically, Brian is going to have a way to clear Obi. I'm just worried about Brian's damage potential. Is doing 2 a turn going to be enough to get Reid dead fast enough where Brian still has 11 force left?
And doing 2 to Reid's 3.
2 to Reid. Even
Reid
if you
does
clear
have
Obi,
a
doing
fair
2
number
to
of cards
3.
on the table. But it all depends how much Brian has left, because he doesn't have a ton of cards out.
What was he sensing there? Sensing
Short
the
range
short
combo.
range. Okay. Did Brian fail to play a sack shield?
It looks to me like there is no sack shield on the table. And Brian also, I saw he drew a sense for Destiny earlier. So, I mean, at most you're going to play like the Oppressive Enforcement if you're planning on playing yourself, probably.
Yeah, but that's a good card.
Yeah.
That saves you force.
Well, he already has. Does he have 4 shields?
I think he's got 2.
Just the 2?
Yeah, I think he's got Grabber and Firepower.
He must have played Battle Plan or Battle Order.
No, Reid played Battle Plan.
Oh, huh. It looks like the Grabber is on top of another shield. Oh, it's the Weapon Left shield.
Weapon Left shield, right? So he's got 3
Yeah.
shields out. Yeah, and then you probably want like the ability to pull resistance or something.
So he's got 5 in his reserve deck. Blizzard 4, Maul.
Yeah, Maul, the shuttle,
So
Blizzard
he's got
4.
some good Destinies, some less good Destinies.
He's got a 1, a 2, and some 5s, and a 4.
I think the shuttle's a 3.
Shuttle's a 3, so it's 1,
think
3,
so.
4, 5, 5.
I think so.
I thought the shuttle was a 2. I could be wrong.
I will use the trusty smartphone and find out.
Tarkin.
Let's access some scomp links. Oh, Tarkin with the redraw, so good. Yeah, pro tip, also from my game earlier. They're tracking us a 1 to make it a 0 when Tarkin is in the battle. Just general recommendation there.
Yeah, it's sound advice.
You might even say it's wise advice.
Wise advice, yes. All right, so Tarkin and Thrawn. He's going to get 2 Destiny, and he can redraw that 1, but he's not going to cause overflow here. And he's going to lose both characters. What do you think about this?
He's clearing Obi, so he won't take the drain damage, and he's putting enough down to make sure that he doesn't lose the battle and have to stack on conflict.
Okay.
And also get overflowed, because either of those guys just against Obi is probably losing that fight. Because only one of those, somebody's going to be forfeit 0 and it's not Obi-Wan.
Yeah, he gets to hang on to his Gick in this situation.
Oh, and confirmed the shuttle is Destiny 3, just like it's Maneuver 3, Hyperspeed 3, and Deploy 3. I don't know what's up with the power and the forfeit.
Sure it's not
They shouldn't
Reid's
just
personal
delete
shuttle?
everything. That would be amazing.
Reid's personal shuttle, everything is a 3. Thrice per game, may use 3 force to deploy Reid's reserve. There we go. That's an idea for you to design. See,
Thrice per
that's what you get if
Thrice
you
per
let us
game may
design
use
cards.
3 force to deploy Reid's 4/3 force.
And may use 3 force to use Reed's game text and space. Then add
All
3
right.
to
He drew the 5 and the 3.
I suppose we should
So-
narrate what's going on. Yes, 5 and 3, so he's got power of 16, and
And
Obi.
Drew
Ouch.
1.
Unless
Does
he's
Thrawn
got
have
a-
any immunity?
No. But unless he has a Jedi Lev, he's actually peeling 2 cards.
Okay.
Which, I mean, you play the battle planes, you put Obi
He's-
there, and then you lose 2 force of the privilege, all at the cost of 2 force for them. That's not the ideal way.
Why is he peeling 2 cards? It's 4. It's 6 power from the characters.
No, Thrawn's a 4 and Tarkin's a 4.
Thrawn's a 4 power.
Yeah, he's 4/4.
Virtual one.
Yeah.
The old one's not, right?
No, the one's a 2.
Okay. That's pretty good.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Reed actually has to peel 2 here.
Leia and Wisa.
Yeah, Reed had some trouble in our game finding characters. I'm wondering if he's having similar here.
Well, he's
Yeah,
resiliencing Obi,
resilience.
so he's going to have another character.
It's hard to tell how much Ryan is at. If we see him move over at some point, there we
we're
go.
seeing it here.
That tells he has to start.
He has to start
he
blocking
can't
the
keep
drains,
eating
yeah.
through to the drain anymore.
He's probably also saying, I have Hujix if he's moving with just Vader.
I'm guessing he's in the mid to high teens. I don't think he's down to 12 yet. I mean, he had enough to put down those guys, draw Destinies.
He's also
Yeah.
moving.
Yeah, there we
Dooku.
go. There goes Dooku. All right. So,
Well, this now says I have Hujix on the other side of leaving Emperor unprotected. Gick.
So this is an interesting situation. Now, it looks like he still has multiple cards in his force pile, so he can still force lightning, which makes, unless you have another Jedi's concentration, which is possible, or a blaster deflection, Luke, doesn't want to fight those guys, and he doesn't really want to fight them straight up, especially with Justice on table, because that's 13 power to Luke's 8.
Well, right now he's got no reason to fight him. Right now it's Reed that has to fight
Yeah.
Brian.
Well, I'm just thinking what Reed can do, right? Because we know he has
Right.
Obi, so he can go Obi and Jin against the Emperor, or he can go Obi and Luke against the 2 Dark Jedi. Or,
Brian's still thinking here.
We'll see if Reed lets him take back both movement characters. Technically, the tournament guide only allows for the taking back the last action if your opponent agrees and nothing else has occurred. But usually players are going to not make a big fuss about that. So looks like that was 12. 3, that's 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Thank you, Brian. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Looks like Reed's at something like 17 or 18, I think. Point ban. All right. Gonna cycle a Destiny here. He gets to put a card back. He's gonna see if it gets sensed or anything. Looks like it's not. So he gets to pick any card from his force pile. But that means he's in the draw phase. So he opted not to move over.
Reed's going to put Walkling out of play. Brian has 19 life force and a few cards in hand. The two are pretty... Reed has slightly fewer life force, but more cards in hand. So the two are pretty even on total cards.
Like Reed looks like he's at around 16 life force and then another, I think, 7 or something. All right, so Reed is cutting his force pile. He is not verifying that he failed to find a card. Point man was played, if you missed that, Casey.
Point man was played. Okay.
Point man V.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't fail to find a card.
I know. It's impossible to fail to find a card.
Okay.
I do typically still ask to verify that it is, in fact, a card, though. They don't just, like, pull a rock out of their deck or anything. But,
Well, stone pile.
yeah. Oh, snap. All right, there's the extra fet.
Accelerate, Blizzard 4. He knew that those were there from drawing them in the last battle. Reed's only card in reserve deck is a 6. And this is Ray. To the battle plates.
Ray stands alone.
Reid's going to get a pull from his use pile once he deploys Ray. Reid can also now draw the bottom card of his force pile if he so desires. He's going to draw the top card of his force pile instead.
That's old school right there. None of this newfangled drawing off the bottom of the reserve deck business.
Brian is going to get to retrieve a force here.
That's right. Good old firepower.
Oh,
Brian,
he forgot to do it.
Missed it. That's unfortunate.
That's big.
Yeah, it's one of the really interesting things about match play that we don't have to worry about anymore when we're just in Swiss tournaments, which I think is a good change, is differential. And in match play, every single card matters. Every single time you can retrieve something, you have to think a lot harder about it than you do in a Swiss, where you're just like, I just got to win.
Well, even in Swiss, when you're just trying to win the game, retrieving cards helps you win games.
Yes, it's a definitely recommended strategy.
All right, Reid loses 2.
All right, Emil said something happened for the third time today, but I'm not sure what he's talking about.
I think he's talking about firepower retrieval.
Ah. Yeah, I mean, if you had an empty force pile or something, that's fine. Like, okay, you couldn't afford it. But you have a card in your force pile, that's just unfortunate.
That's a misplay. It's all right.
That's one of the things that the video coverage, especially the last few years, has helped in some ways reduce the aura of invincibility. Of just like, because there's certainly many amazing players. I mean, these guys are amazing players, but like this game is so hard to play actually, perfectly. Of like between both the omission of forgetting to do things and the commission of doing wrong things, like it's very, very difficult.
Here's Baronfeld of Fondor. I actually went back last night and watched the video of my first round match against Bill, the one that I won. And I looked at even the game that I won. I looked at the video of the match and saw all these things that I was missing, things I should have done better, and got tips from Matt, who was commentating on the match at the time. And I found whole new ways to play that match. So having the videos is very helpful. Obviously now Jemp records all your games, so having access to that, being able to rewind and pick apart the Monday morning film, if you will, after the game. It's a very nice touch.
Yeah, it's definitely helped me become a better player.
What's
there's a battle going on. Tarkin just battled Ray. Drew
Okay.
7 to Ray's 6.
I didn't even see Tarkin. All right.
Yeah.
So that's going to clear
I
the
saw
site.
Baron. I didn't see Tarkin go down until he flipped over a card.
Yeah, no,
What's
neither did
happening?
I.
It's one of those moments where you're just like, you wish you had moments. By moments, I mean you do have your moments virtual to redraw that 7 and make Tarkin draw 0. But that was not to be.
All right. Reid's going to 3PO, and then he's going to Wisa. Shows...
Well, we got 3 Jedi Lukes, an escape pod
Lot
combo,
of high
and
destinies.
something shiny in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so Lord Vader was moved over. All right, and there's the Force Pile Search putting the Destiny back. So at this point, both players have good Destinies. There's still an EPP Obi-Wan.
Let's see if he fails to find. No, he found something.
Oh, good. I was worried for a minute.
Mike French.
Mike
Welcome.
French, thank you, sir. Yeah, Team Endor, man, we were repping. It was me and Werfs in the top 8. And apparently the coverage for that, unfortunately, is never going to be posted because it involved multiple players who were out of the tournament being highly entertaining and drunk.
It's not my fault.
Understanding. So yeah, it won't be out.
see. So Reid, I mean, he can bring Obi. So Reid's got to be thinking what he's going to do here. Because he can bring Obi and attack Vader, but if he does that... If he has weapons protection, that's great. If he doesn't have weapons protection, then he risks Luke getting hit and then getting the site cleared, and he absolutely does not want that
I would want to know how big Brian's hand is right now, because he might also be able to play Obi to Naboo if he thinks that he can just run Brian out of characters.
I believe that's his hand next to the, according to my design, at the bottom of the screen, so it looks like there's going to be a few cards. I think at least 3 or 4. So Reid is behind, but he won the first game by 11, so this is all about the differential here. So Reid's got something like 12 in life force. It should be something around 12.
Now I don't know.
Yeah, it should be something on the order of 12. I think he's got 7 or so.
He has enough. He has enough
He's got 5
right
in
now.
reserve deck. Well, but with Vader in front, I mean, that's where if he battles but he gets cleared,
He's
in
just
a
going to
really
say
bad
go.
spot.
He's just going to say go.
I saw a Clash of Sabers in Reid's hand. That could be big.
Yes, clash and miss.
So you think he's trying to bait?
Well, yeah, Reid's doing no damage right now, so he has to make Brian lose. I think another 8 cards or so. Brian Mishke, he's an excellent player out of Minnesota. I want to say he came in 14th at Worlds a couple of years ago. I think he came in something around there last year. He's wins or makes the finals for most of the Minnesota things. I think they came in Jake Nelson.
He's Brian Irish on the boards.
Top of the crop there. But Minnesota's got a bunch of younger fellas who are trying to travel to events the last couple of years and doing well. I played one of them my first match yesterday. It was a very close match. He played very well. And they got a whole nice team there, and they're working together. So I think we'll keep seeing more top finishes from those guys in the finals. And obviously we got Brian Mishke here right now.
All right, here's a sorry about the mess from Reid.
Boom.
He got him.
All right, that's big. So now he gets to do 3 more. So Reid's thinking, does he go character or does he pay to drain? He's going to pay to drain.
That's the right move. He's got to do damage.
Yeah, now is that drain resisted? Because that would be good right here. Like I said, I think Brian has something on the order of 6 force left to play with.
He didn't pull resistance.
He only lost 2.
He isn't. I don't think he's finished.
It looks like it.
He's got 2 out here, not in his lost pile. And yeah, lost 3.
There's 3.
And I don't think he's shield busted yet, so that's an unfortunate play on Brian's part again.
Yeah, hard to say for sure. I can't tell if there's a 4th shield there or not. It almost looks like there is.
It's these 1 or 2 2 6s in reserve for Reid.
Okay.
It's these 1 or 2 plays by Brian, not retrieving a force here, losing an extra force there. The results of the first match are posted in the upper left-hand corner of the stream. Reid won the first game by 11.
I mean, there, like, Reid actually could have won by 1 more that he missed.
Right, and Reid missed a chance to retrieve an extra force at the end of the first game.
So.
Profundity.
There we go. There's the profundity. He does have. Okay, yeah.
Brian does have 4 shields in
Yes,
play.
Chris confirmed. Thank you, Master Gogolin.
And solo aboard the Profundity. This could end badly for Brian here.
No, that was all his force. He can put one down to Luke.
Okay.
He can put down to Luke and fight.
put one
But
down to
I
Luke
mean,
and fight, yeah.
if there's a close call, though,
Battles for free too. He's on the 0 side.
that's right. He battles for free. Yeah, so he doesn't need to put a card down. But yeah, I mean, so now he just has to play the 0 close call. So you have to ask yourself, does he lose the game if he doesn't have a close call? Because yeah, it looks like he just battled for free, and there was no close call. So that means we'll have to Baron with. So now he has to stack on conflict.
conflict.
I bet we'll see the sense go for that, actually. but unless he's like right at 11. Nope. So he loses it from hand. So they both get a C when cards go in conflict. If it's from hand, both players get a C. If it's from reserve deck, neither player gets to C. All right, so there goes Solo. By the way, if you get a chance, you should log into the PC forums and you should send Chris Goglin a thank you for the work in organizing this event. He put a ton of behind the scenes and in front of the scenes effort, as well as many other folks.
Absolutely. I can't say enough about Chris and about everyone who puts on this event every year. Just incredible. Thank you to all the organizers.
Yeah, if you haven't
Sorry, go ahead.
If you haven't been to a big event, highly recommended. It's I guess even if you start out, you're a lower seed, or you lose a game, you still get to play, one of the proverbial legends of the game. Like that's still fun. Maybe you pull it off. Like we've had upsets before, but also there's numerous chances with consolation tournaments, so you get a whole lot of Star Wars, numerous chances at making various top fours, winning cash prizes. Just seeing what's new and just match plays. It's just a fun animal, and you're preparing for a specific subset of players. So it's just a really fun tournament. There's lots of random gaming going on all weekend, usually until 4 or 5 in the morning, if that's your ability to stay up, or if you're conveniently from like the West Coast, so you're jet lagged like crazy, like me. So you got plenty of options. Highly recommend coming out. Do you happen to know if Brian is playing limited resources?
I do not know the answer to that.
All right, so that was at least 8. No, Brian's got
some force.
It looks like he's at 14 or so. 13, I think. That was 7, 3, 3, I think. 13 with cards in hand. And 7 force. So yes, that was Vader. All right, now or 6 force, I guess, for Vader. He was going to get the saber. He lost that deck, so he still got at least 12 or 13.
He's going to have to move in front of Profundity.
Well, not if he clears Luke. Though he may not,
Dodge.
Oh.
Reid's going to have to lose 2 force.
Yeah.
Oh, he dodged the saber draw.
Yeah.
Okay, and it was a miss anyway.
Yeah, I was like, you just dodged the saber draw. I mean, he could take a card off Justice here. I don't really see a good reason not to. You need extra life force. And it's not like you're adding unless you have a close call.
Yeah, Reid hits Vader.
Yeah, you have to expect that. So if Brian's got a 7 here, you definitely justice this. Oh, just a 6. It's not going to get it done. Luke draws himself. Abyss would be amazing at the moment.
Yeah.
Probably not going to play it in deck with 3 Vaders, but that'd be a pretty amazing card with how many Jedi Lukes are flying around these days. So they're tallying up the power. So Luke just drew a 7 because Justice was not enforced. So that's 15 against Vader's 14. So he has to stack a card.
And lose a force. Yeah, not taking Justice was a 3-4 swing.
Yep. Lost a card, lost in life force. May not get a chance to get it again. It was big.
And now Reid drains free his turn.
Yep.
Yes. Well, yeah.
Well, yeah. So he has to move in front, and then he has to
Probably has to move Dooku in front.
he has to move Dooku and just hope for the best.
You're not clearing Luke like that, so.
No.
I mean, if he still has the Phantom Menace in there, it's possible. He does still have the Justice, but it seems like if he had the 7, he would have got to the 7. Yeah, the 7 there would have been big. And again, if he has a 7, you Justice for sure to make sure he can't. They're tracking us. So
I think Reid lost at least one. They're tracking us.
that
how many
may
he
have
runs.
just it's hard to tell if Brian's got another plan here. He may have another 7. But I mean, he didn't hit on the swing. I mean,
There's
he doesn't
Obi.
have 4 lumps, so it's hard. All right, yeah. So here comes Obi.
This might do it, folks.
Let's see. Well, if he fights, he stacks 1 on conflict. He runs away. Yeah, Luke won by 1. Pretty sure because Vader was 7. There was 1 from Endor, which was 8.
Hits Dooku with the swing.
6, yeah.
Takes a card off. Now he takes a card off Justice. 6 for Battle Destiny 3, and that'll do it. Reid Smith is your 2018 Match Play Championship champion.
Wow.
Congratulations to Reid. It is at least his second championship, possibly his third.
Yeah, I feel like he's won it twice, but I could be wrong. All right. Well, folks, it's been fun. It's been real. Casey, been a pleasure, as always.
Phil, you as well.
Righto. To all you watching, I'm sorry, and thank you.
Congratulations again to Reid. That's the end of our coverage from New Jersey. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in.